So in this video, we're gonna take a look at maps. They are orderlies and they have a key and a value. The main difference between a set and a map is that the map has a key and a value. They can hold any value. So for example, you can create a new map by adding a variable, client equals to new map. And then for example, you can console log this client. Console log client, and at the moment this is going to be empty. So if you remember, when you are working with sets, you use .add. In this case is client.set, and you need to pass a key and a value. So we're gonna add name, and I'm gonna add, for example, name Karen. Save this, and now you can see we have a map. It has a length of 1, and you can see we have 0, and it says name and the value. So we have key and a value. So let's add a second one, client set. We're gonna add a membership, and we're gonna add premium, and finally I'm gonna add a tier one. Let's add, for example, a balance, and this is going to be a number. So save this, and now you can see we have a map with 3 different values: name, membership, balance, and also we have the values, current, premium, and the amount. So let's see how you can retrieve a value from a map. So for example, we're gonna access the values, and we need to comment this line. So we're gonna use, for example, console log, and we're gonna name the map, and then we're gonna use a dot, and we're gonna use get. For example, then you can pass the key that you want to retrieve. So for example, the name, and save this. And let me comment this line, and you can see we have Karen right here. So you can access the other values if you want. It's going to be membership, and it's going to be the balance. So save this, and you can see we have the 3 different items. So let's review, for example, and I'm gonna comment everything from here. And I'm going to add a comment. Map methods, it's going to be like this. We're gonna get map size. It's going to be, for example, console.log. You pass the name of the map, and then .size. Save this, and this is going to return 3. We have only 3 items into the map. Check if a value exists. We're gonna use console.log, and you can use, for example, you can use client.has, and from here we can pass, for example, the key membership. You can see that we have a membership right here. So we can save this, and it's going to return true. We can add, for example, member scenes, and this is going to return false. So the main difference between get and has is going to be, for example, if I copy this and paste, and then you add get, and we have values that doesn't exist, member scenes, you can see this one return false, and the other one return undefined. In case that we add values that does exist, you can see we have true and we have premium. So the first one is going to return if this value exists, and the other one is going to return the value, the actual value. So let's see how we can remove elements. Remove elements from the map. We're gonna use, for example, client and a dot. Then you use delete, and then you pass the name of the key that you want to remove. In this case, in the map, you are always to refer to these keys. So for example, we're gonna use a delete key, save this, and now you can see we have the map, and we only have a membership and a balance. So finally, let me comment all of these. And we can also clear the map. Clear the map, and then you can use, for example, client, which is the name of the map, and then clear, and this is going to remove all the contents from this map. Similar again as we saw in the previous video with sets, and also from a local storage. So you can pass default default values into the map. So for example, let's say, and I'm gonna remove this, and I'm gonna remove this also. So let's say that we create a new variable, cons is going to be patient. So we have, for example, an hospital, and then we're gonna add new map. Then you open parentheses, then you open square brackets. From here you create another square brackets, and right here I'm gonna add name, and I'm gonna give the name, patient name. Between this and these square brackets, I'm gonna add a comma, and I'm gonna create another square brackets. So then we have room, and a comma, and then we have a not defined. So if you console log this patient like this, save this, and you can see we have name, we have the patient name, and then we have the room, and it says not defined. So for example, if you add patient.set, you add name, so you give a name Paul, then you can see that we have the name, but the room is not defined. If you add a room, you add 404, save this, and now you can see we have the name and you have also the room. So this is how you create default values. So let me comment this. And here on the top, you can see that we have this client new map. So let's see, for example, how you can pass for each into a map. So it's going to be client, the name of the map, dot for each, and then you give, for example, client info. Then you use the arrow function, console log, and then I'm gonna use again template or string literals, $, open the braces, client info like this. Save this. You can see we have Karen, we have premium, and then we have 3000. Same as the arrays or objects. You can add a comma right here when you are passing two different arguments into this arrow function. You have to use parentheses, but you can add, for example, the index and pass the index right here. So save this, and you can see that the indexes of the maps are the keys, and the values are going to be in these that we have here. So these are maps. They are also really helpful. In the next video, we're going to continue working. We're going to see iterators and generators.